There could be a £2 billion shortfall by 2024, due mainly to increased energy costs and staff salaries. The teaching profession is calling on the government to stand by its 2019 election pledge to restore education spending to 2010 pre-austerity levels. Paul Gosling is the president of the National Association of Head Teachers, which commissioned the report, and a member of the Labour Party. I asked him what impact those spending cuts could have.
I chill at the thought of spending cuts, because at the moment 9 out of 10 schools that we've surveyed are saying that they are going to be finishing the financial year in deficit, and that means schools aren't supposed to be able to do that. They need to look to balance their books. So at the moment, even before we're hearing that there will be any further cuts in this year, we are looking at trying to do things to reduce costs, and that will inevitably have a erosive effect on the quality of education for children. Making further cuts in the climate we're in, when we are facing huge energy costs compared to last year, increased staff costs for a number of reasons, is just an absolute nightmare. And I think if they're going to announce cuts, they have to be really honest about the quality of education in this country, which will suffer.
So what will this mean? Will it mean bigger classes? Will it mean reduced curriculum opportunities? Will it mean less support, perhaps mental health support, for example, for students? What are we talking about?
All of those things. The biggest cost in education is people. 80% of our costs are spent on people, and people are important in education. You need to have the best quality people and retain them and attract them into the profession of teaching, and also the support staff that we have, who do an incredible job supporting children in class, particularly those with special educational needs, but also all children and all teachers. And it will probably be those sorts of jobs that do some of the pastoral support, the mental health support, that schools will have to look to reduce. And that will have an impact not only on the children directly, but also on the staff, who will be having to work harder to fill in the gaps. And I just don't think that they can work any harder at the moment. Since 2010, schools have been dealing with austerity, and we have reduced budgets, we've found cost savings, and to have the threat of even more cuts piled on top of that is just a disaster waiting to happen.
The Department of Education has said that, of course, there is the energy relief scheme, and it has also said that schools will benefit from an increase in core funding, which includes a cash increase of £4 billion. What more, therefore, can schools do to help themselves?
Well, I'll just take a little bit of issue with those figures. The government made £7.1 billion extra to the budget. Rishi Sunak announced that when he was Chancellor, remember him? Well, that was in September 2021, and the aim of that money was to restore us to 2010 funding levels. Well, the IFS did a report earlier this year that says that £7.1 billion, which would return us to 2010 levels, has just evaporated due to increasing costs. So yes, they have put extra money in, but not enough. That money is gone. So what we need them to re-look at the overall budget for schools and take into consideration now the increased staff costs and the increased energy costs and the increased food costs and all the other things that schools have to pay for, which have increased since that money was announced, and recalculate what we actually need to keep going. So I don't accept that those figures are enough at the moment.